like to thank everyone for tuning in to this edition of Parent University. Today we're speaking with Bolivar Aguirre of Buena Vista Counseling. Buena Vista Counseling is located right here in Georgetown, Texas. They aim to equip families with the tools they need for effective communication and coping skills, along with the tools for recognizing their children's needs. Buena Vista Counseling is always striving to create an atmosphere of inclusivity where children, adolescents, and their families can gain a sense of hope and tap into vulnerabilities, pushing themselves toward positive change. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
I'd like to talk about some of the personal and social challenges that parents and children are dealing with as we begin our school year virtually. Students are naturally missing each other and learning in the familiar surroundings of schools and classrooms. What are some protective factors that parents can work to build into their homes and routines that can help kids stay emotionally healthy during this difficult time?
Yeah, children are going through such a difficult time right now in terms of maintaining relationships, normalcy, trying to just build a routine that they've been so used to that's been taken away. And so the more things that parents can do with respect to structure, with organization within their day, kind of creating a type of school-like atmosphere in terms of, hey, you're going to work on this right now or for this period of time, and then maybe afterwards we're going to have some physical activity. The more they can do to help create that or cultivate that, the better the children are going to respond. A big thing for kiddos right now is their friendships that are kind of, on pause. And so for parents, if they can help create time where maybe, a FaceTime with certain friends, or maybe a get together with a few families that they've already kind of established during COVID, that they've kind of in their inner network where they feel safe with their children, spending time with, these other folks' kids, the better for them. And so help cultivate those bonds, those relationships, help to increase the time that they can spend outside. Hey, let's all go out to the park. Let's all go out, do a trail run, a bicycle ride, something where they can get some outdoor time. And also being mindful of their eating habits, keeping them eating healthy. I think also that will make a big difference. Those types of, elements will help kids feel, more emotionally strong, more emotionally connected with their family and the circumstances they're going through.
Okay, excellent. Well, since teenagers and kids are going to be spending so much more time at home, can you talk about some of the typical things that parents might see in terms of their kids' moods and behaviors?
I'd like to give parents, the benefit of the doubt in knowing that there's going to be more conflicts because there's more time being spent together. And so be accustomed and familiar with that, and don't be too hard on yourself. Right? You're taking on a lot more responsibility as it comes to teaching and educating your children. And with that is going to come more opportunities for disagreement. And so understand how you're feeling, because typically in some behaviors that you'll see more likely in your children are going to be things like annoyance, things like, defiance when it comes to doing school-related tasks. Understand that and validate their feelings. Tell them, hey, like, I know this is not something you're used to. I know this is not something that you enjoy, but together let's figure this out, right? Promote unity and validate.
How would parents know that things were becoming more serious and that their child may actually be showing signs of depression and not just typical moodiness? Maybe what are some questions that parents might ask?
So, I think the difference between moodiness and depression can often be like misconstrued, misunderstood. For me, as I look at something like depression, it's going to be more longer periods of withdrawn affect, not being, in the moment, extended periods of time having to be away, especially away from activities that are typically enjoyed by that youth, right? So like things that normally that child's going to love to do, whether it be boxing, sports, different physical outlets, if things that they love to do in their own regard, right, without prompt, if they're staying away from those types of activities for prolonged periods of time, I would definitely be concerned. Moodiness, I think the response for moodiness that I most often look at or see is something like, mom or dad, I'm upset. I don't want to talk to you about it. At least they verbalize their feelings. I think that says a lot about how they're feeling and where they are with respect to, is it something more serious or just moodiness? And so if they're at least expressing their overall feeling but don't want to talk to you about it, I think you can totally respect that and at least be proud that they're articulating their initial impression. And so ultimately, though, you always have the opportunity, if they get to that point where they don't feel comfortable talking to you about it, talking about a certain feeling, reach out to a mental health professional, reach out to an outlet that they typically do well with, maybe an older sibling, maybe an older cousin, some type of family member, mental health professional, some outlet where that feeling can get further explored to see if it's something to be concerned about.
Yeah, that's excellent insight, because as kids become teenagers, it's pretty typical that they prefer to talk to their friends or people closer to their age rather than, their parents.
Exactly. And I see a lot of parents kind of not showing disgust, but discomfort with the ideas, what did I do wrong? Why can't my child come up and approach me with these hard things? And be comfortable and understand that that's typically age appropriate, right? It's always easier to talk to someone else. And so don't feel like that is a reflection on you as a parent or the relationship you built with your child. What I tell parents is don't force it. Like, if your child doesn't want to talk to you, don't keep pushing that point, right? Try to build that relationship in other ways so that they can feel comfortable. And so if I have a mom or dad struggling with a particular kiddo and they aren't expressing to them like what's on their mind, find outlets where you connect, and organically that will come out. Focus on the relationship and not the content.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Well, what advice do you have for parents who are afraid to ask their children about potentially thoughts of suicide or even say the word suicide?
Suicide is a very much nowadays a taboo topic, a taboo word for people and families to embrace or talk about. And that's understood. I want families to feel comfortable with the idea that because they approach the topic doesn't mean you're talking it into existence, right? And what I mean by that is a lot of parents shy away from it because they fear introducing this is going to produce the action or produce the unintended consequence that they're not hoping for. I want to give you the confidence to have these tough conversations because ultimately you know them the best, and they will, when appropriate, talk to you most openly.
And it sounds like the communication is that critical factor, that not talking about it is more dangerous than talking about it.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about it, have the confidence that children can sense, feelings of awkwardness or feelings of like my parent doesn't feel right in this moment. And so what I say is, I give you that confidence to have these conversations, and children will feel that and be like, okay, this mom and dad are handling this pretty well. Maybe I can talk to them about how I'm feeling.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Williamson County Mobile Outreach Team, or MOT? What are they, and when should parents consider calling them?
The MOT, the Williamson County MOT, is an entity in Williamson County that helps to address families or individuals struggling with mental health crises. The idea is to help divert resources so that first responders, in terms of police and paramedics, can have additional help for families going through mental health episodes, or families who are struggling with the idea that this is something that's apparent in their lives.
Okay. But are there instances where parents would want to call 911 instead of MOT?
Yeah, definitely. I think 911 is appropriate in instances and scenarios where you have an active action of self-harm. Like your child is hurt or has caused harm. Beyond the thought, they've executed some type of plan or executed some type of volitional act. And so if that does occur, then definitely reach out to something like 911 and they can respond much more quickly.
Okay, well, as we close this session, I'd like to let our parents know about a new partnership that we have in Georgetown ISD with something called Care Solace. Care Solace is a 24/7, 365-day-a-year social work concierge service. They are available at no cost to any student, family, or staff member in Georgetown ISD. They speak English and Spanish. Care Solace will personally match individuals with the mental health services that they need. They only work with vetted providers and will take care of establishing the initial appointment times so that people in need can focus on self-care until they get the right professional team in place. This usually takes about 48 hours or less. And in conclusion, I'd like to say thank you, Bolivar and Buena Vista Counseling. To learn more about their practice or to schedule an appointment, please visit their website at www.buenavistacounseling.com.